first 8 games of the year, he was killing the ball. He had like 4 homers and 14 RBIs. He broke his wrist, and he hasn't been able to get back on track since he's come back. He missed 2 months. But I think about what he did for Atlanta when Acuna Jr. went down. He had the 45 RBIs in 55 games. This is a productive guy. And their outfield is a little bit crowded, but they're finding ways to get all these guys in the lineup.
2 outside the ball. A guy that gives you good defense, and he'll supply some power. He's had as many as 30 homers 3 different times.
And in 21, he was one of the big additions to the Atlanta Braves. They were struggling, and they made a bunch of moves where people thought they were going to sell him, and they ended up winning the World Series. As I said, he had 45 RBIs in 55 games. He had a great year. He was in Miami to start the year.
Acuna went down in early July, and Alexandopoulos made a flurry of outfield moves, getting this guy, Jock Peterson, and Rosario. That one golfed to the air down the line. If it's fair, it's gone. And that one is fair, and it is gone. And Duvall with a homer, and it is 2-0. Cranked that one and was just able to keep it fair inside the pole.
Well, it looks like it's another changeup that goes down and in, and he's ready for it. And he stays back, and it puts a huge charge into this ball. Stuck inside the foul pole. It's unfortunate the wind didn't push it the other way. Looks like it's out on the street. And the thing about this Red Sox team, they're hitting 270 on off speed, 3rd in Major League Baseball. Their slug is 2nd, and they're showing that tonight. 2 changeups, 2 home runs.
There's Tristan Casas now. Misses down and away. But it was impressive that Duvall was able to keep that fair. Casas homer went 425 for Devers. A home run earlier this inning. It was helped, according to our internal weather meter, by about 20 feet by the wind.
Interesting, Casas is a very young hitter. My son actually played against him in high school. He went to American Heritage Plantation. He's a really, really patient hitter for a young hitter. They've actually had to encourage him to swing more. Swing.
Line drive, and that one softly in out into left center, and it falls for a knock. So Casas gets enough of it. 3rd hit of the inning for the Red Sox.
Yeah, this just looks like a sinker that's in a pretty good spot. I mean, it's on the edge. It's off the plate. And Casas with great plate coverage, long arms, a really big kid, 6'4". He's able to kind of poke it over the shortstop's head, and the Red Sox have another runner on.
So man at first, and 1 out as Barnhart uses a mound visit. Red Sox leading 2-0 here in the early going. Red Sox part of an American League East. They're in last place, and all 5 teams are over 500.
The American League East is obviously the toughest when it comes to overall record. And this has been a team that's been really streaky. It seems like when they get 4 or 5 over, they lose like 7 out of 8. And then they win like 6 out of 7. This next 2 weeks is going to tell a lot whether they're sellers or they're buyers.
Here's a 1-0. Chops foul with 3rd. Here's what we mentioned in terms of a 5.69 combined winning percentages, the highest prior to the All-Star break in the divisional era. So that goes back to 1969.
Yeah, you're 5 games over and you got no chance at the wild card. But Tampa has played the division into, it's getting interesting because they have been really struggling. They have all kind of starting pitching problems, much like the Red Sox. The Red Sox have Bayo and Paxton, but they have a number of guys on the IL. They could get a couple of them back. Who knows what this team could do?
Pitch to Connor Wong. Check swing. Didn't go, really.
I thought he went.
Me too.
Boo, give me that arm. I'll raise it. See if he goes here.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Come on, Jeff Nelson. So now 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. Hendricks with 1 out, man at first. The Red Sox have jumped out to a 2-0 lead. A couple of solo homers, one by Devers and one by Duvall.
I think Duvall becomes really important in this Red Sox lineup because there's so many lefties in it, especially at the top, and they got to try to divide them up so they're not susceptible to managers bringing in lefties against some of their top players. So Duvall is really important in this club moving forward.
Swing and a miss, and Wong is down on strikes. There's 2 away.
Yeah, it looks like he just goes up with a 4-seamer here. He's been down, and then he goes up and he gets him to swing through it. It's got a little late movement to it. It comes back over the plate, starts off the plate, comes back. And Connor Wong is just underneath it.
And now here's Yu Chang. Chang, their shortstop. That's it for a strike.
I'm always worried about pitchers. First start of the year and the first start after the All-Star break because they were out of their routine. Sometimes the pitcher might get 9 or 10 days off in between. And I always worry about how sharp are they going to be.
I feel like it's shifted a tiny bit, though, in terms of it just seems like more and more guys are like, if I can get a little extra rest, I will take a little extra rest.
Oh, I think they all want it. It's just when you don't get on the mound for 9, 10 days, it just feels different. You don't feel as sharp. And I think you have a question in your mind, am I going to be as sharp? But I think it pays off in the long run. It's like, when you get 9 or 10 days off, what? Oh, that doesn't happen.
Hendricks ready. And throw it at first. The shortstop spot's been a hard position for the Red Sox. They're 28th out of 30 teams in shortstop OPS. Kike Hernandez has been the main guy in short, but Alex Cora is going to be penciling him in a ton. Swing and a miss. Chang is gone. And Hendricks with another strikeout. For the Red Sox with a couple of solo homers. Midway in the second, and Boston leads it 2-0. Rush's Road Home program, a center for veterans and their families. Road Home has served thousands of veterans, active duty service members, and their families across the U.S. If you or a loved one are in need of treatment, please reach out for healthcare and wellness services. Learn more about Rush's life-changing services at roadhomeprogram.org. And thanks to Sergeant First Class Anthony Hunt from the United States Army for his service. And thanks to all of you for recognizing him who tweeted it. Seiya Suzuki now. Suzuki, Bellinger, and Morrell against Brian Bayo, our throwing right-hander. Seiya is not only a first pitch
I like it.
hacker, but trying to ambush him right there, fouls it off.
Yeah, if I'm a Cub hitter, I do not want to get to that changeup because he's able to locate it down and into the right-hand hitter pretty well, and he keeps it down. It's a ground ball pitch. If he gives me a fastball up, you have to swing.
Strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-2.
I know it's a big comparison, but a lot of people think, they call him Little Pedro because of the whippiness of the arm. Pedro had like 99 in the tank with a really good curveball too. He's got a pretty good slider.
Bayo and a 1-2. Check swing, appeal to first, did not go, says Jeff Nelson. And Bayo's in the middle of the stretch. His overall ERA is 3.04, but since April 29th, only Blake Snell and Nathan Eovaldi have a better ERA at 2.35. Chop towards third, that one bouncing, and that's a foul ball. 2-2 on Seiya Suzuki. You look at the Cubs offensively, and Joe mentioned it in the open, just the need for some more slug. David Ross's lineup goes Tauchman, Horner, Happ, and Suzuki. The top four guys in the Cubs lineup combined have a 382 slugging percentage. Big league average is 410 right now. You need the top four guys to possess more slug than that. And a swing and a miss.
There's that great changeup that's down and in on it. But you're right, Boog. I mean, the guys in the middle of the order have to have higher slugging percentages for them to be successful. If he's got this going where he locates it down and in, it's going to be a long night for the Cubs right-hand hitters. And it's one of those nights where you say, go get them, lefties.
Here's the pitch to Bellinger. And that's in for a strike. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, I would think that you would see that a lot from Bayo to Bellinger. Bellinger's very good against off speed. He's been very good against right-handed off speed. That's the pitch that gives him troubles when he lays off it. He usually puts together a really good at bat.
Swing and a miss, and Bayo has gotten the first two swinging, 2 down.
He's got that real loose arm. And those guys, for hitters, just didn't seem comfortable because the ball seemed to get on you really quickly. Everything was slow, and it was like, whoosh, and it got on you, and that's what it looked like it did to Bellinger.
He's thrown 20 pitches, 16 for strikes. As Morrell dribbles one towards third, Devers picks it up. He's safe at first, Morrell beats it out. Infield single.
Well, he gets a sinker where he gets on top of it. We talked about how good he is when he gets the ball on the ground. Hitters are hitting 080, but this one's not hit hard enough. Devers has had his issues at third base. He has 10 errors this year, but he makes a pretty good play here. He's just not quick enough. He's not hit hard enough to speed him around. Gosh, this is probably
Please tell me they know each other.
Neither one of them made hard contact. Both of them got a hit, so maybe they're happy for each other.
Morrell is something else. Here's Jared Young now. 2-0 Red Sox. Young swings and comes out from underneath his helmet.
So Kevin Euclid is next to us,
Yes.
doing the Boston game. He played third, and then he got moved to first. What do you think he would have done at Morel, huh?
Oh, we got to ask him that. Was a very good major league hitter and had probably 3 to 4 seasons where he was an elite major league hitter.
Fantastic guy.
Yeah. The Greek god of walks, as he was dubbed in the book Moneyball. It's the first. Casas. He gets away from him, but he ends up collecting it, putting the tag on JY, and that ends the inning. So Jared Young grounds out, and the Cubs leave a man into 2-0. Charity's online auction starting here tonight, running through July 22nd. Here's some of the items. Watch a game from the Marquee booth, the Marquee studio and booth tour, play-by-play for half inning. And you can shadow Taylor McGregor. All those items you can bid. Cubs.com/charity auction.
You know, if I was giving a scouting report on Jared Duran, I would tell all the outfielders, you better be ready because he's going to take the extra base when he can. So you cannot take your time getting to the ball. You got to get it in. He's had a number of balls that he's hit in that 5-6 hole, really kind of towards the shortstop, just to the right, that end up doubles.
That stretch, last 25, hitting just a shade under 420.
Oh, he's got some video game numbers when you look at what he's done. They're 18-4 when he scores a run, but if you look at how hot he's been his last 7 games before today, he's hitting 609 with 6 doubles.
Here comes a 2-1. He did not make the team out of spring training. His season debut was April 17th, and did some work with him in terms of making sure that he kept his hands a little higher, I guess, mechanically.
He's had a special year when you look at when he started. We talked about the doubles. He has 27 doubles. Matt Chapman from Toronto's leading the league. But Matt Chapman's got like 95 more at-bats.
Next offering is lined out into left center field, and that's a base hit. Duran's thinking about second, throw there, and it kicks away from Morel. I think he was screened. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think they had a chance to get him if he comes up with that ball. And I don't know if he got blocked out by Nico or he took his eye off it and peeked at the runner. You see the hard line drive. When you look at these Red Sox hitters, these lefties, they really go to left field because of the wall in Boston. They're taught to do that. I thought Ian did a good job of getting this ball in. It looked like it was a pretty good throw. Maybe, yeah, he's peeking at the runner, and the ball got on him too quick, or they got him out. It's a really good job by Ian Happ. So I was talking about the Red Sox, how they're built around their ballpark with that short left field. Left-handed hitters for the Red Sox lead all of baseball with opposite field hits. They play pepper with the wall.
Yoshida out to left center. Bellinger there and makes the catch. Quickly fires it back in. Duran advances. And with one out, there's a man at third.
I always wonder how guys like Billy can be so accurate when they just turn and even. I mean, that ball's on the bag.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw a catcher do that 2 weeks ago where he turned and spun around and threw it out from Cleveland.
That's right. Yeah, with Bo Naylor. That was unbelievable. Well, Belly will tell you he was state high school pitcher of the year his senior year. Turner takes outside for.
I tell you, I would like to see him as a quarterback.
Yeah. The athleticism and the
gunslinger.
Yeah, I believe it.
Cubs knowing how tough Bayo is, they're playing infield in early on. They've already given up 2 runs. You can't afford to give up many more.
It's a strike to Turner, the veteran at 38 years old. Signed a 1-year, $15 million deal with the Red Sox after 9 years. Dodgers and 9 really good years with the Dodgers. Infield creeping in.
I always thought with the Dodgers, he was the heartbeat of the lineup. Not necessarily the best numbers of the lineup, but the way he grinded out at bats. And it seemed like when he was in the lineup, they were a different team. He's had RBIs in 7 of the last 8 games, over 450. He's been hot as well.
Here, right field pushes Suzuki back, makes the catch. Duran will tag, and he'll come in to score, and it's 3-0. Turner delivers the run. So the Cubs on the short end right now, 3-0. Reminder coming up bottom of the inning. We'll visit with David Ross. Hoyer is going to join us later on in the broadcast. Fridays with Rossi.
I will never forget the home run this young man hit off of Chapman. It was a 102-mile-an-hour fastball, opposite field, Yankee Stadium, and I was like, oh my goodness. And obviously he's turned himself into a great player.
He swings and crushes one right field, forget it. And that one off the scoreboard. Look out. Devers second of the night, and the Red Sox have opened up a 4-0 lead. And there was no doubt about that one. Wow.
Well, he hit a changeup out over the plate earlier in the game, in the second inning. In this, he gets a fastball. He's trying to go in, and it's actually on the edge. But he's that good. You can see that his body never goes forward, so his hands have the freedom to come inside and get to this fastball. For a team that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, they found their home run stroke tonight.
Yep. So the Red Sox, 11th out of 15 teams in the American League in total homers hit, starting into the second half. Alex Cora. Lined into center field. And the base hit. Cora took over as the Red Sox manager and won it all in 2018.
Tommy Holloway is going to make his first trip. Tucker's already been out, so this is number 2. I mean, this Red Sox team was leading baseball in runs per game and slug in the month of July, and it hasn't stopped. OPS
Yeah, no doubt. A formidable lineup. They've jumped down to a 4-0 lead. Downstairs, and Elise Beneker.
Yeah, so Hendricks struggling with the long ball here today, but when he's on, as Barnhart described, he said, caught him for the first time in New York. He said it's like playing chess with guys he's facing. Hendricks, after that last start, he said he's really happy with where he's at, especially health-wise and mechanically. He says he wouldn't have expected to be here yet with that long layoff after not pitching, for almost a year with that injury. So he said he's just going to take it as it comes. So the good news is, guys, is he has been feeling good, obviously, now, just struggling in this start.
So 2 down, man at first, and it's Adam Duvall who homered against Hendricks his first time up.
Adam Duvall's weakness is sliders. And it's not something that Kyle has. So it becomes a tougher at bat for Kyle. Maybe he can drop a few curveballs in there.
Hendricks, 4 homers allowed in 53 and a third coming in, and he's given up 3 here tonight.
Gave up 2 against the Yankees last week.
Off, although he got a good jump, and safe at second is Verdugo.
It's interesting. They try to time you up, and he takes off early, and he gets rewarded. A lot of times you won't get rewarded, but it was so quick that if he would have stepped off, if someone would have yelled step off, he might have stepped off and been able to get him in between and thrown right to the shortstop. But he threw to first. And the Red Sox have another runner in scoring position.
Foul down the right side. And again, you don't know that the events are going to take place in the same sequence after the fact. But I would still take it back. Remember the leadoff hitter in the inning, Duran? It certainly appeared that Happ had put a throw on target in time. Morel, though, turned to peek to look at the runner and was not able to even get leather on it. It turns into a double. And I think scored properly, but it would seem like the type of play that you'd like to see him come up with that baseball and put the tag down.
A big league player has to make that play. And he has not played a lot of second. He's played all over. And I'm not picking on him. As time goes on, he will make those plays. But it's just experience.
Out of bounds. Oh, flagged down by Mastrobuoni, and they just do get Duvall. The Red Sox in 2 more. We'll go to the bottom of the third. the third, and interviews with David Ross brought to you by UI Health. Several Fridays with Rossi, and you guys on the short end, 4-0 right now. What are you seeing with Kyle? If you were to sort of deconstruct what's taken place so far.
Yeah, change up there. Devers early on looked like he just got the barrel of the bat to the ball, kind of out in front a little bit, but he young, strong man, 22 homers now. Then trying to go in and do ball. I thought kept that ball fair. Took a pretty good swing on that. I don't know whether it was guessed right or what, but pretty good swings. The home run hasn't been something Kyle has been accustomed to as of late. Looks like just some knocking off the rust maybe from an all-star break layoff or just some balls in the middle of the zone, looks like.
David, where are some areas where you think this team needs to and can get better as we turn the page to the second half?
We got to get some offense out of our first base position for sure. I think we need to the slug needs to come out, starting to warm up a little bit, wind blowing out like today. We got to get the ball in the air, some contact from our corner outfield, putting the ball in the seats a little bit more. Dansby getting back will help a little bit. Maybe some third base offense as well. And then looks like our bullpens continue to do a little bit better job of locking some guys that fallen into some roles and things to be going a little bit smoother. But, there's always areas of improvement. I think, J-Mo did a nice job against the Yankees to finish his All-Star break. Right before the All-Star break, had a nice performance. Get Drew Smiley back, pitching the way he was early on. And hopefully Justin and Kyle and Stroke continue to pitch well.
Mastroboni down on strikes, and there's one away.
David, my question to you is, I always had my worries when I came back from an All-Star break about players. What and mine were most about pitchers not being in a routine. Like, how much concern do you have over that? I think you always worried about that to some extent. You also realize it's out of your control, right? There's just so much you can do. Kyle sent us some videos of him throwing to
Sliced down into left center field. That'll touchdown, and that'll roll. Barnhart cruising in for a double, and a man in scoring position with one out.
I think some of those Kyle and Jan went on kind of all-star break together. He threw a little bullpen, sent us some video. He got his work in. These guys get their work in, continue to play catch, but just something about the rust of just some days off and get back in here. We hadn't had the cleanest start to this game, but we'll get it going and have a nice comeback here and throw up a W.
I like it. Rossi, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep, that's right, show.
David Ross right there, and Spike Tuchman stands in, man, at second and one out. Bouncer foul for strike one. Tuchman rounded out his first time. It's the 20th time he's been used in the leadoff spot. Cubs have not gotten a ton from the DH. Two positions, if you will. The DH and first base spots are the two places where they're hoping to get improved production. Lace to right over the head of Verdugo. It's hard off the wall. And Tuchman will trade places there with Tucker Barnhart. And the Cubs are on the board. It's 4-1.
Well, this looks like a fastball he's trying to go in, and he is ready for it, and he turns on it and hits it over Verdugo's head. It's a very, very good right fielder, and the Cubs get on the board. And this double is brought to you by Elgin Hyundai, home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new car. Michael Tuchman, who has not swung the bat particularly well the last, 10 days, his hits have been really productive. A two-run homer, a two-run double.
Chang gets quickly safe at first. Infield hit. 3 straight hits for the Cubs. First and second and one out.
Well, the other thing about this, Michael Tuchman reads this ball really well, where he doesn't go, where he gives Chang a chance to throw it out at third, so he has to stay. And Nico Horner beats it out. Now the Cubs are in business. Big swing of the bat. They're right back in this game.
Here is Ian Happ Pat fly to center his first time. And fouls it back. June 24th over in London. Pat with that 2-homer game since then, including tonight. He's just 5 for 44. So trying to break out as we begin the second half. 2 on, 1 out. Play on.
The thing about Ian Happ, though, this year, and I know he's struggling now, he's had a lot of success off changeups. Now, this is an elite changeup. I get that. But sometimes hitters just have a knack of seeing a pitch better than others, and he's had a lot of success hitting over 300 on it.
Now 1-8 for a strike, and it's nothing. What you differentiate, or I guess as a catcher, value. He's doing it well this year, or he's shown an ability throughout his career to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, what's the history over the last couple of years? I used to use data for like 2 or 3 years to really have an idea. I didn't like going back farther than that because I think hitters change as they get older. Whether you're 24 to 27 or you're 33 to 37, they change a lot. They get smarter. Sometimes when you're older, your bat slows down a little bit, so you're not as good as against the fastball, or you maybe cheat on fastballs and you don't hit the breaking ball anymore. So I think you have to look at a couple of year period.
2 on, 1 out. 1-2. Foul. The great Nick Helling telling me he had 282 on changeups last year. So
It's probably why you're seeing a lot of fastballs up. You see one up the zone, that one was in on his hand.
early in his career, the knock, or at least the thought was fastballs up was how you would get him out. Like, as his career has grown, he's done a better job of closing that hole by not swinging at it. That one on. Devers called and Happy retired. With 2 down, it'll bring up Seiya Suzuki, who struck out swinging on a changeup his first time. Red Sox lead it 4-1. Boston, they've gotten homers from Duvall and 2 from Devers. Pitching is lined up pretty nicely to begin the second half. Hendrick, Stroman, and Steele against Bayo, Paxton, and Crawford. Pitch to Seiya. Strike.
See that late movement on that fastball away, running back over the outside corner. Hitters will give up on that. So that's something that Seiya's going to have to put in the back of his mind. But then he's throwing that changeup down and in. I mean, it's just really hard to cover both.
Ryan Bayo, just 24 years old. We talked about the Pedro Martinez comparisons. Kenley Jansen's mentioned it. With all of the new measuring tools, you learn what makes the unique guys unique. Like, for example, with Pedro, it wasn't just the long whippy arms. He had really flexible wrists and he had giant hands for a guy of his size. These big, long fingers. And so the spin, I would assume he'd get was pretty incredible. Pitch inside, check, swing, didn't go. Jeff Nelson.
Well, that's the interesting thing. When pitchers try to teach each other pitches, sometimes their body just doesn't allow them to do it. Biomechanically, you can't do it, even though, no, you just do it like this. I'm trying to do it like that. It's not working for me.
Yeah. 2-2. Seiya waits. That one upstairs, good take, and here we go. 3-2. 2 outs, runners at first and second. Big spot right here. Is he going 3-2 changeup?
I think so. I think I'm going with my best pitch in this situation.
Top at second, order at first.
That makes me wonder if he had a little hesitation in his mind of the pitch that was called. They said he's really come a long way in his preparation. And I think Jason Varitek, who's basically their game coordinator, game planner, he's one of the best calling catchers I ever saw. Has probably really helped these young kids.
3-2. Chopped off the plate. That one bounces foul.
You know, he's had 2 of those. He needs one of those to stay fair.
You mentioned Varitek. In my mind's eye, back from covering him when he was a player, I think of Tech, just these binders. He would just be sitting in front of his locker, just devouring information.
He led the pitcher meetings. Right? He was the guy because he was so prepared.
As trusted as he gets. Switch hitter, very good player. Topman in second, order at first. Suzuki awaiting it. Here it comes. Chop to the right side. And that one collected by Turner. And he throws out Suzuki. And the Cubs leave a couple. Cubs do get on the board. We'll head to the 4th. It's 4-1.
If the ball stays on the mound, Cubs season ticket holder Tyler Ferguson will win 2,000 Tasty Trade jackpot. And congratulations, Tyler, for winning tonight's edition of Mound Ball, presented by Tasty Trade. Stocks, options, futures, and crypto. So you get your 2,000 in crypto?
I think he gets his choice. Yeah. It's his choice. That's my story. There's Tristan Casas now in the air center field. Bellinger chase back some more, and that one into the fence, getting gone. Wow. It looked like the wind was a helper there, but we'll have to wait and see as Kyle gives up his 4th homer of the night.
It looked like he inside-outed that ball, and I didn't think it had that type of carry, but you look at the size of it, it's a fastball. Looks like the ball actually cut a little bit. Looks like he stays inside it and drives it the other way, pulls his hands way in. And I'm not sure what that pitch was. It was probably a four-seamer that cut a little bit and ends up in the basket.
Tristan Casas with his 10th. The Red Sox, we told you, normally don't hit a ton of homers. They've got 4 tonight, leading 5-1. Chop towards third. Mastroboni takes it in and throws out Wong.
Well, Kyle's job now is to keep it right here and try to get through 6 innings. If he can do that, I mean, it's not the start that he wanted, but it helps the bullpen moving forward as they're playing a number of days in a row, 10 days in a row on his homestand.
Anthony Kane just got up. There he is.
Boy, that's loud, right? It sounds like he's throwing 120.
The 0-1. Strike to Yu Chang.
We talked about their defensive struggles they've had in the shortstop. They're expecting Trevor Story back sometime in August.
Yep.
Now he's going to make the move. And when they went and got him, they put him in second because they had Bogarts. But they knew that there was a possibility that Bogarts might not come back and it would cover them. I'm sure they're really anxious to get him back just for his defense.
Yeah, a guy who whispers that he had some yips in Colorado. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. He's coming off of an elbow surgery.
Yeah, he had some different process done, but
internal bracing maybe.
We thought he had the yips when I was with Philadelphia, and then you realize he was hurt. He was playing hurt.
But he can swing it, so he'll be their guy in August. At least that is the intent. And then their top prospect is Marcelo Meyer, a shortstop. I think if they were really aggressive, you'd see them next year at some point. Low throw, nice dig by Young, out at first, and Duran retired. Good job by Morrell, and a nice help from Jared Young. Red Sox still leading it as we go to the bottom of the fourth, 5-1. Jed Hoyer will join us coming up. Cody Bellinger climbs in against Brian Bayer. And the sinker misses outside. I beg your pardon, changeup. Ball 1. Welcome to the broadcast booth. And President of Baseball Operations, Jed Hoyer, joins us. How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing? All right. You guys get a good break?
I was in Seattle. I called a game nationally for radio, so short break.
That. Yeah, I don't work enough to need a break. I know you do, but mean, I think about how difficult all the plates you're spinning right now. The
Yeah.
draft, the trade deadlines.
July is a tough month, from a work standpoint. You got the draft, and then it kind of cuts into most of the All-Star break, and then you get the deadline. That's actually the fun time of year too. You make huge decisions that really impact the future of the organization, and everyone is working on the same page. So it's invigorating but tiring.
How has prep for the draft changed since you started doing this job?
A lot more teams are using analytic models, and that helps to shave a little bit of the time. It used to be, when I started, it was magnet after magnet for 10 long days, and now it's a little bit more efficient because we have that.
In the air out towards left field, got one back, and it's gone. A belly bomb into the bleachers. Let's go. And it's 5-2. Well, tonight it would behoove you to get it in the air, yeah?
That's what I was saying before I went on. They've done a great job with that tonight. They got 4 of them up in the air, and we just got 1. But this scoring game, the ball's really carrying. The wind's not blowing out too much, but it's really hot, and it seems like everything's got an extra 10 or 15 feet tonight.
Home run replay brought to you by Toyota, the vehicle of the Chicago Cubs. Yeah, the depth run the first time, according to our metrics, was helped by about 20 feet by the wind. So that was one that was certainly pushed. Bellinger with a home run. Can you take what you've seen from Cody Bellinger so far this season?
He's been excellent. He started out the season a little bit slow and then really caught fire for a while. He was slumping a little bit. He was slumping a little bit before he got hurt. And then obviously he missed, the month, and that was really a shame. And he's really come back strong. He's a really good baseball player. He can play first, he can play center. Obviously, he can play right. He hits lefties, he hits righties, he puts the ball in play. He does so many things to help you win, and he wants to play every single day. And I think that's the thing that's really endeared him to the coaching staff and his teammates. He wants in the lineup every single day, no matter who's pitching, no matter how many days he's played in a row. It's endearing, and like I said, he's a really good player. I'm thrilled that we were able to sign him. He's been as advertised, and I'm happy for him that he's bounced back. He had a couple rough years coming off the shoulder injury, and he's bounced back exceptionally well.
Yeah, I think those shoulder injuries for hitters are really tricky, and they go unnoticed a lot. Why hitters really struggle.
Do you think it matters with shoulder? Front is worse?
I think the front is always worse, and I've always questioned. Like, I saw it happen to Greg Bird, and he never came back to be the same hitter. And I think you could get bad habits because you're trying to favor it a little bit. And I think Cody is really just getting back. I mean, this is his highest OPS since his MVP year, really. And I think he had a little home run draw in the middle of this partly because his legs weren't underneath him with the injury to his knee. It seems like he's fine.
I've been impressed he's been able to scramble as well. Like, when he doesn't feel it, you can tell he has some games where he's not feeling great or seeing the ball great, and he's able to scramble for a walk, a single.
Yeah.
And he maintains his average and his numbers and his value really well. And then when he gets hot, we've had a couple of streaks where he starts driving the ball.
Well, he just finds a way to flick the ball out there for a hit. I mean, he's strong enough, and he gets the barrel to it, and he's got amazing plate coverage because he's tall and lanky, and he's got long arms. I've been impressed with him.
I tell you, when he was, having those really great years with the Dodgers, and he would come in here and we'd go out there, I just felt like he was swinging a wiffle ball bat, with that bat speed and that plate coverage, and it's nice to see him get close to that.
So right here, Brian Bale dealing with Miles Mastrobuoni. Ball to strike, 2 outs as we're in the bottom of the 4th. Jed Hoyer joining us up here in the booth. And the Cubs trailing it by 3. Mastrobuoni getting the start at third base here tonight. In the air, left field. This is pretty well struck, but chasing back is Duran, and he'll make the catch. All right, Jed, we're holding you hostage for another half inning.
You got it. That was too quick.
Jed Hoyer with us here in the booth, and a full score, it's 5-2. First ever Cub Charities online auction, and here's some of the items you can bid on. Lunch of Patrick Wisdom. How about Catch a Wrigley with Kyle Hendricks? Coffee with Ian Hack, and Catch a Christopher Morel with spring training. You can bid Cubs.com/charity auction. John Shelby, Joe Girardi, Elise Menaker. Happy to be joined by Jan Hoyer up here in the booth. Masataka Yoshida takes a pitch upstairs. Let me ask you about the draft. Are you happy with what you did? You took Shaw from Maryland, a shortstop who could really hit. You like him?
Yeah, he's always performed. He has a great career at Maryland, and then went to the Cape, was a Cape League MVP last year. Really swung the bat well. He's super athletic, and it was nice. We had some inside knowledge on his makeup. We had his strength coach. He's our AAA strength coach now. Just raved about him. Other people we knew raved about him. So we love the talent. We also love the makeup. Personality was great. So we were really happy that worked out.
Where's Jackson in his recovery?
He had it in February. So we saw him in the fall. Our scouting director Dan Kenter saw him in the fall. Said, "Oh, this is a middle of the first round arm," and he got hurt. Also, we had our director of strength and conditioning was already talking a long time. Just talking about what an exceptional athlete he is. 6'7", really moves well, and that's the kind of arms we're trying to add to the system. A guy that is sort of like upper 90s, can spin the ball, but also is athletic, and certainly there's some rough edges we can smooth, but that's the kind of projectability that we want to add all the time.
So he should be ready to really start his throwing program probably in the next couple of months.
He'll start his throwing next couple of months. And the hard thing we found for the rehab guys is just they never have a real off season. They get the throwing program, and so we have to talk about how we do that. But ultimately, the most important thing is getting him healthy and then being able to really work with him, coach him. But it's like I said, it's a great arm and a great athlete for our guys to work with.
When you think about those Tommy John patients, what they go through, like sometimes you keep throwing or you keep doing things, certain things, they can't. And they need to just touch a baseball again.
I think the mental struggle of that is so hard. And you're a lot of times you're in Arizona. It's there's 115 degrees this week, and you're rehabbing, and I think it's a real mental challenge. And I think some guys struggle with it. I think some guys also kind of find their love of baseball being away from it and really come back rededicated. But you're right, it's a mental strain going through that process.
And they're so used to being part of a team. And on rehab, you're not really part of a team, and it's a real struggle. How many extra players do you anticipate you might sign?
It's a good question. I mean, we've done well. We've signed a couple, but you always want to put a hard number on it. You want to be open minded to bring guys in, but we have harder limits now than we used to. With the minor league player limits make it a little bit harder. You can't just sort of sign unlimited bodies to go to Arizona and throw in the pitch lab and hope they figure it out. Like now we have to be more cognizant of our numbers across the minor leagues than we ever used to.
Turner with a count 2-2.
It's so different though. 20-round draft. I mean, when I started, teams had to drop out and you just kept going and going, and you have guys that you're drafted in the 50th, 60th round, and just keep taking junior college players that were drafted follows forever, and it's amazing how 20 now seems like a breeze.
Who's a guy over the years, if you're to rewind, and I'm putting you on the spot, but a guy who, as the draft just wore on, you just, we'll take him, that turned into something? Is there anybody off the top of your head, somebody that just is, the draft is just on and on and on, and you say, we'll take a flyer on this guy? Is there anybody that jumps out to you?
I can't think of one like that. I'll have to think if there's anyone that I was around and made it in those like 30th, 40th rounds. I'm not. Wow. You don't see that every day.
I think that was and Turner kind of blocks it to third, and there's 2 outs.
I'll get back to you on that. But that's a good question, though. But yeah, there's no doubt there was definitely you hear the stories of guys being favored drafts or getting drafted in the 40th and 50th round, and
the Mike Piazza's type.
End up making it. Yeah,
Jeff Conine, whatever. Real quick with Devers up here. This is dangerous to do, but with the trade deadline 2.5 weeks away, how do you decide what you're going to do? Does it change daily?
I can't believe you waited this long to ask me.
I know.
I try not to think about it that way. I think what I said to the media before, and I think the way I'm going to sort of phrase it is that we need to make up games on the 2 teams in front. We need to make up games on 500, and we need to play well. And it's not a day-to-day thing. I don't think baseball is that way, and we're not down to the last couple of days, but we need to play well over the next couple of weeks. I don't think there's any question about that we need to win games, and we need to hopefully tighten up the race. And we've shown we're capable of beating really good teams. We won 2 out of 3 from most of the good teams in baseball. I think where we have struggled is just we've had some sweeps, we've had some cold stretches, and we dragged our way all the way to 1 game under before in London, and then obviously we had the struggles against Philly and in Cleveland when we got back, and now we're sort of back in that same boat of having to drag our way back. But I think that's the biggest thing. We have to make up ground on the teams ahead. We need to make up ground on 500.
Kyle Hendricks done for the night. We got ourselves a pitching change. What you look at for this team, because obviously some of the decisions you're going to make are based on probably projected budgets for next year, right? I mean, at least some of it is how you're going to look at what you're going to do.
Yeah, the good thing is I think we have real building blocks on our team. work, but there was definitely some times in May when I was struggling.
How about the improvement that Adbert Alzolay has made? Because this year, managing for the Phillies in 21, he struggled with his lefty. Couldn't get him out. I saw Brad Miller hit a couple home runs off him here. How about the improvement that he's made? I'm blown away.
Yeah, obviously, I think he's figured ways to get out lefties, but part of it, I watch his demeanor on the mound, the way he attacks guys. It's amazing. Confidence is amazing thing, and I think when you watch him right now, he feels like he belongs. He wants the ball in those situations. He's coming right at guys, and to me, I love that. He's going to throw strikes. He's going to come right at you. I feel like what he's done better against the lefties, I think that, he's sort of like tilted the axis of that breaking ball a little bit. I think when that breaking ball to lefties is more top to bottom, I think he's had a lot more success. I think when it gets a little bit more sliderish, more horizontal, I think that's the one that has hurt him in the past. But with that addition of that breaking ball to lefties, the fastball plays that much better. And like I said, I watch a guy with swagger. Confidence is powerful.
Kane facing Verdugo with 2 strikes.
Hey, you're talking about the slider. His slider was almost like a cutter. Yeah. And he got hit hard. And he threw more changeups back then. But, that's pitch shaping, and that's what they're able to do in the lab and the importance of that lab.
Yeah, no question. And I think that, I think we've gotten better as an industry. We've all gotten better. I think as an organization, we've gotten better at being able to tweak that, to change pitch shapes. And I think that you said it, it's a powerful thing where you can take a guy that's struggling against lefties and really, that was his Achilles heel. And so far this year, he's really neutralized that thing.
2-2 now with a man at first. As KD.
I gotta have that one.
I feel you.
Pretty good night for Devers so far, by the way. His single was 110.
Yeah.
Good way to come out of the break.
Anthony Kay's done a pretty good job in these situations. And I know he's not in the higher leverage situations, but
Check swing, and he held up. That's ball 4 with Jed Hoyer here in the booth. Are you surprised at the way the Central has played out in terms of other teams' records? And I guess specifically, the Cubs are the only team with a positive run differential. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, it has been surprising. I would be, to say that I would have thought the Cardinals would be where they were with their talent in the season they had last year. I think for them, it's been, a surprising season. And I think that the Reds, with the team, obviously have been surprising as well. That, since they brought up this wave of young guys, their offense and their swagger is unbelievable. They're tough to play. They run a lot. They've had those guys have been hot, and it's been super impressive, especially when they've given up a lot of runs, but they're scoring more than the opponent, and it's been an impressive run. So yeah, I think there's no way to say that it hasn't been somewhat surprising. That having them on top of the division right now and having the Cardinals on the bottom, I would not have expected that in late March.
Ball to strike on Duvall. Multiple foul. This time of year, though, with them shifting the timing of the draft, it is on you guys, huh? This is about as intense a stretch as it gets.
Yeah, people are calling yesterday, a lot of phone calls, and this is going to pick up. That's going to pick up steam as we go. There's going to be a lot.
Now, what gets away, Barnhart will go and retrieve.
There's going to be a lot of talk. I do think, there might be a deal or two, but I think it'll be a later market. I think there's a number of teams that are still sorting out who they are and how they want to proceed, and I think that will kind of push things towards the end. So I expect it to be a lot of calls this week, but picking up in intensity, actually getting into that final week where teams have more or less decided their direction. When you ask the question about us, I think the answer I gave, I have to imagine there's half a dozen teams out there that are probably giving a fairly similar answer, which I think is somewhat unusual this time of year.
Well, I think the Central in both leagues kind of complicates the trade deadline because it looks like only one team is coming out of the Central. Maybe National League Central will get two. I'm not sure, but you look at the American League East, they're in last place, but they're in it, and it's just it makes the American League Central is only going to have one team. The American League West has got three teams that are probably still involved, so there's still a lot of. And if you're in the American League Central, like three of those teams are involved, and the other two would have no chance of making the wild card. So it's kind of complicated with how many teams are still involved.
It is, even with the new setup. I mean, it may not happen. I guess in theory, you could have all three of the wild cards come out of the AL East, but the likelihood is that at least two of those teams are not going to make the postseason, and they're all five really good. And it is unusual, no question. And I think nationally, there's definitely some teams in the East and West that expect it to be good. They probably expect to have really good second halves, and that are sitting in fourth.
Swing and a miss. And the Red Sox leave a couple. Jen Hoyer, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Look forward to chatting again soon.
Always. Anytime, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We trust. And right now, the Red Sox leading it 5-2. As we go to the bottom of the fifth, Boston matching a season high with 4 homers. Devers with 2 of them. This young man, Ryan Bayo, has pitched pretty well. It'll go Barnhart, then Tauchman, and then Horner for the Cubs in their half of the fifth on a steamy night.
Steamy night where JD joins us in the booth.
Yes.
Not used to seeing him in shorts.
The 1-1. Turner wandering out. Oh, they don't fall. And he's Barnhart racing for second. And he's a dead duck.
Well, you talked about Turner hasn't played second since 2015. It's a windy night. It's a ball in between him and Verdugo, and they probably don't communicate like this very often. He doesn't look really comfortable as he's back playing. Verdugo does a nice job, but that's it.
Tauchman with an RBI double his last time up. Red Sox leading 5-2.
Starting to throw a few more breaking balls. I watched his last start. He really struggled with his sinker early on, so he went four-seamer changeup. And a lot of times he'll try to get through a lineup with two pitches. He's kind of a versatile like that. Probably the enforce of the attack. And then he starts to introduce his other pitches. He's got a cutter that he doesn't throw very often.
Well, it certainly works if you're at 67 pitches in the fifth.
I would say so. On a hitter's night, he's kept the Cubs to 2 runs. He's got a pretty good run of 2 earned runs, the less going right now. I think he has 8 starts in a row.
Okay, again, last 12, ERA is 2.35. 2-2 to Tachman. Ground ball softly hit. Turner collects. Throws him out.
I am greatly honored to be inducted into the broadcaster's wing of the Baseball Hall of Fame, and my friends at BigTimeBats.com have made exclusive bats commemorating the event.
Nico Horner now. We're in the bottom of the fifth. The Red Sox lead the Cubs 5-2. Game 1 of a 3-game set. Tomorrow it'll be Stroman and Paxton.
Paxton has pitched really well for them. And it's a guy that spent a lot of time on the DL lately. Left-handed fastball, 95, 96, pretty good curveball.
Third, Devers backs up the field, unloads. Nice pick by Casas. And that ends the bottom of the fifth. We'll head to the 6th, and the Red Sox have the lead. Nugget of the game. And check this out. Regular season-wise, this is the 12th Friday night game at Wrigley Field. All time. So if you're saying to yourself, doesn't seem like they play a lot of Friday night games, you're right. This is number 12. Thanks to our good friend Ed Harding for his help. This is not include playoffs. That is regular season.
Well, I got to tell you, Luke, I was way off. And I know I've been busy some of the years that the Cubs have had games, but I had no idea it was that many. I thought it was 3.
Casas, then Wong, then Chang.
You know, he seems like he's out of that Texas mold. remember Texas had like all those first basemen. They had Justin Smoke.
Sure.
They had Chris Davis.
Yeah.
There was one other one. I don't remember it being this big like 5 years ago when he was in high school.
Yeah, he's a big kid. Just off the outside edge, 3-2. Tosses a pair of hits, a single and a homer. Towards left center, Bellinger got a good jump and makes the catch.
I don't think that would have hit the wall in Boston, but that probably would have been somewhat of a fairly interesting play. I mean, I think when you play for the Boston Red Sox, and if you take advantage of your park, it makes left-handed hitters much better hitters because they learn to stay on the ball and don't try to pull everything.
And it's funny when you think of Fenway Park, I think people contemplate it as a good home run hitter's park. It is not. It's a really good doubles park and a really good offensive park, but it's not a great home run hitter's park.
No, and for left-handed hitters, right field is so big that your right fielder almost has to be a center fielder as well. And Verdugo's done a really good job there, but there aren't a lot of home runs for right-handers to right field. Left-handers don't have as many either.
I mean, I'll tell you, whatever you may remember about David Ortiz, he used left center field really well.
Yeah, but the difference was he went over the wall all the time.
There was that.
Yeah, it made him a great hitter.
Probably Jersey.
I always found it interesting when they would come to New York. It was almost like they changed their approaches. Because in New York, right field was really short.
Yeah.
So right-handed hitters were trying to go to right field. Left-handed hitters would all of a sudden start to try to pull. It was almost like they had two approaches. Imagine being an infielder and they told you they're going to make you a catcher. He was a middle infielder walk. Like, I don't think so.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Kane gets walked down.
It's a four-seamer that's up in the zone, and it's that pitch that looks so good to hitters. They just get underneath it a little bit. You see that? They just don't make contact.
So, like, if I could put you in a time machine and alter your career, you go back and play second base instead of catcher.
Oh, yes. I was 13 years old. I caught when I was 12. When I was 13, I went to a tryout. I'll finish the story.
Slide and makes the catch. You realize, though, that any mistake, you don't have your out anymore. You're found tip out.
I'll finish the story when we come back.
That's a tease from Joe Girardi, everybody. It's 5-2. Fairbanks Cars and Thrill. Experience the thrill yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. Bayo delivers high to Ian Hatt in the bottom half of inning number 6.
When I look at the outs recorded by the Cubs, for a guy that gets a ton of ground balls, the Cubs have done okay keeping the ball in the air tonight. Six outs recorded on the ground. Up to 15. It's usually well over 50%, near 60.
Takes upstairs. Happ, Suzuki, and Bellinger. Broke his back out towards center. The ball is there.
Getting back to my story real quick. So
Yes.
when I was 12, Mr. Murbaugh, the postman, suggested that I catch, so I went and caught. When I was 13, I went to a tryout for the 13 and 14-year All-Star team, and Mr. Rutherford, who was the coach, said, run to your position. We were all sitting on the bench. I ran right to second base. And he called me over and said, come here, kid. Go back behind home plate. And I was there for him.
On the ground is short. Suzuki retired.
I'd been an infielder my whole life, and I wanted to be an infielder. I loved Ron Santo, Bill Matlock. I played a lot of third base, and that's what I wanted to be. And Mr. Rutherford was smart, knew I didn't hit enough to be a corner infielder.
Or could you hit enough to be a second baseman?
I don't think so. Not in today's game.
Well, Bayo to Bellinger. Belly hits one in the air, left field. This one's got a chance. Another belly bomb. Second of the night is 11th of the year. And it starts to get a little more interesting. By 3.
They took another ball to left center, and that's a really, really good sign. He's had 4 home runs in the last week or so. I know you had the All-Star break, but just another ball driven. And this is 96, and he got it down. I mean, that's the big thing for Cody, not to swing at that ball around the center. And when he does, he's really, really dangerous. I mean, it seems like the Cubs are really far behind in this case when you think about it.
You're down 2.
Yeah. Anthony Kay come in and did a good job. Hendricks, got him into the 5th.
One of the other things that Cody brings, and again, trying to measure it is an impossibility, but he's a good energy guy. He's one of those guys in the clubhouse that's always having a good day. He's one of those guys in the clubhouse that no matter what stretch he is in, he is always giving off, I'm going to get 4 hits tonight and we're going to win tonight.
That's an amazing attitude that not everybody can pull off.
No.
It's a real quality in certain people. It's a blessing if you have that. It's that belief in yourself. The guy that comes to mind for me was Curtis Granderson.
Absolutely.
He could be 0 for 30. And and I think, okay, I need to give him a day off. And I put him in there, he hit 2 home runs, and here he goes again. And always smiling.
Burrell gets a piece, stays alive, 3-2. Christopher.
One of the best human beings I ever met, Curtis Granderson. When he was built for Yankee Stadium, the pole he had.
3-2. Off the plate. Jay. Double clutch. And it's a base hit.
That's that's why you need to run over the break a little bit, right? So when you get these two infield hits, you're used to those sprints. Looks like he is. Oh, he's safe. Well, we talked about their troubles defensively at shortstop, where they've really struggled. Kiki Hernandez has really struggled. You see Christopher grimacing a little bit. Hopefully it's nothing in the calf or a hamstring, but
They pushed the pitching coach out for a visit with Bayo.
Pete Chang has actually been their best defensive shortstop while he's been out there.
Yeah, it's been a battle for them as a team collectively. You mentioned last in the major leagues, but outs above average, next to last in terms of most errors committed, defensive runs saved. They're 23rd. Defensive efficiency is basically what percentage of the balls in play do you turn into outs. They're tied for 19. This hasn't been great for Alex Cora's team. Young takes low. Jared Young 0 for 2. Both outs on the ground.
Still doesn't have that double yet, though, that he needs to get.
A hot start with a couple of triples and a homer. Morel at first.
Yeah, Bayo, he's not extremely quick to home plate, but it makes it difficult to run because Connor Wong is so good back there. As I said, he's top, he's fifth fastest, home to second in Major League Baseball this year, and he does it from the deep. He's thrown out 36% of the runners.
See that mask that Wong is wearing? He's wearing one of those Force 3 catcher's masks. Wong is, and with the springs on the side, it's a company that's co-owned by Yasmani Grandal and Tyler Flowers, and those springs help kind of displace some of the pressure, and the technology basically says it helps a bit in terms of when there's a foul ball of limiting the impact and hopefully limiting concussions.
Yeah, I like what they've done, and they're always trying to improve the safety. I wish I would have had that because I was not comfortable with the hockey style mask. I like that type of mask. Saw Mike Mateen's career end on concussions.
Popped up, found ground, Devers, and he makes the catch.
I'm going to ask you the last time you've seen two pop up by one team to the third baseman in foul territory.
The belly bomb. That's it. That's the tweet. Cody Bellinger. 5-3.
Marsh hit 2 of 3 on the FanDuel 3 for free, but we're looking at the 8th inning with our FanDuel live bet. We're looking at total runs, over, under, a half run. Marshall, what do you say? I'm going to go over. I think best is yet to come. 4 runs scored. It says the best is yet to come. Best means a win. We'll catch you on Cubs postgame line. Got it.
All right, fellas. Mark Leiter Jr. will take over. 37th appearance at 36 and 2/3, a 3.19 ERA. Striking out about 35% of the guys he faces. Got a great ground ball rate. Walk rate's about league average. He's been their steadiest from start to now, and arguably the best reliever all year.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, and I would hope that 4-day break would, really get him back on track. He's had a little trouble with his split lately, and I think that's a big pitch for him. But I think the rest probably really helped him. You see a good splitter there. He's got some big outs for the Cubs this year, and it seems like he's always facing the toughest part of the order if it's not a close situation.
That's the first. Young backs up. Leiter gets over, and he's there. They get the out on Duran, and there's one away. Masataka Yoshida here.
So, Luke, today is July 14th. Masataka turns 31 July 15th.
Yep.
Do you think he thinks it's his birthday today because the hours ahead of Japan? Or do you think it's tomorrow? Do you think his family called him today?
I think they're going to call him tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yep. Sticking to it. Leiter punts in a strike. Yoshida signed him 5 years, $90 million. Got off to a slow start, opened his stance, tweaked things a tiny bit, and he's great. Leiter delivers low.
He was tied with Verdugo coming into today with the most hits by outfielders in the American League with 95. Verdugo was taking the lead at 96. He's been really, really good for him.
In the air, out towards left center, charging his half and Bellinger, and it'll fall for a hit. And I almost think they were a little tentative. I think they each wanted to dive, and then they both got a little scared that the other one was going to dive. Might be wrong.
Well, let's take a look at this. You're thinking that it's going to carry when it comes off the bat, and they both got pretty good jumps. I think they just got probably too close together to dive and realized they weren't going to get it. They were too far away.
I think you're right. I think what I said had nothing to do with it.
I'll buy into that a little bit. It's another story you're sticking with.
No, I completely changed my story. Justin Turner here. Turner is 0 for 2 with a sac fly. So a base hit for Yoshida. Red Sox leading at 5-3. We're in the 7th.
Yeah, this is a big portion of the game because the Cubs are 2 runs down. They can hold it into the bullpen a little bit. Bayo's probably done. He may go back out there, but he's near 100 pitches.
Just foul.
I tell you what, he likes that ball at him. Swinging. That's the second one.
Well, I mean, the last one that he grounded out
would have hit him in the middle of the chest almost.
Absolutely.
Look at this one. That would have hit him his back elbow when he was coming through. he doesn't lead the league in hit by pitches because he hits them.
2-1. Into that jet stream in the part of the park where the ball really carries, or at least normally does.
And that's where he hits a lot of his home runs. He's not a dead ball hitter. He's a big leg kick. That was something that he changed when he got to LA. And he gets it down in time, and he gets a ball that's about thigh high. And as you said, he gets it up in the wind stream, and that's a nice catch by the straight out.
Right at him, yes. Devers now, so it's 7-3. Devers goes too far.
It's interesting. I heard some people talking about he was kind of having a down here, Rafael Devers. Really? You know, they were talking about his average was a little bit lower than they expected. But you look at it where he is with RBIs at the top of the AL. Finally got him out on a good split.
Hey, you missed it. Next year's schedule was released. Specific for the Cubs. Opening day will be March 28th, and they will open in Arlington, taking on the Rangers. The home opener is April 1st against the Rockies. First series against the Cardinals not till May. That's in St. Louis. 4 against the White Sox in June and August. And then in September, the first home series against the Yankees since 2017. Just some of the highlights of the schedule. Went out to Seattle as well. Bounce to the right side. And Verdugo retired. Time to stretch here at Wrigley. Our 7th inning stretch brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. For tonight's stretch, please direct. Cubs 7-3. Miles Mastroboni They'll face a new pitcher. Josh Winkowski will take over. Red Sox, overall, their pitching hasn't been great. They're 11th, or I should say 10th, in the American League in overall ERA. Bullpen ERA, better than the starters, 390, number 9. And they're Winkowski at 320 earned run average. A lot of contact.
Yeah, but I do like, Boog, when you talk about their ERA in the bullpen, it's pretty good, even though it's 9th, at 3.90. They've had a lot of turnover. They have a lot of different looks. They have sinker ballers, they have cutter guys, they have Chris Martin's a big cutter, and then they have some lefties, a couple that drop down. They have a right-hander that drops down to sidearm. They give you a bunch of different looks.
In the air left field, that chasing Duran, and he makes the catch. Well, again, multiple looks. To me, the organization, the team, I think of multiple looks at the bullpen. The Rays, and obviously Hein Bloom, former GM there, and Eric Neander. Had a conversation with him. I've related it before. He said to him, we're getting ready to play the Rays. I said, so if you guys have like a tall, lanky right-hander that's over the top, are you looking for like a short, fat lefty that comes from the side? And he's like, kinda. That's kinda how we do it. It's like, okay.
Couldn't he just be short, Boog?
I mean, I wasn't talking about anybody specifically. 1-2 on Barnhart. Tough. A couple of hits in this one, but swinging the bat better. Tough night for Kyle Hendricks. Gave up a bunch of homers. Devers, 1 to Duvall, and 1 to Casas. Actually, career high. It takes a little bit low, maybe outside ball 1. Mike. 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Red Sox lead at 7-3. Towards left center, Duran makes the catch. And the Cubs go in order. We'll head to the 8th. Red Sox on top. Network is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield. Through it all. By Ford. Visit your local Ford dealer today. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
Hey, Cub fans, go to MarqueeSportsNetwork.com for the latest Cubs news and in-depth feature story. Presented by Jeff Vukovic, your local nationwide insurance agent. Visit JeffVuk.com. Nationwide is on your side.
The pitcher will be Javier Assad. Appearance 170 ERA. And Assad taking over to face Adam Duvall. Duvall, Casas, and Wong. Home run his first time up.
I think for Javier, the walks have been somewhat of an issue this year. I think he's getting some valuable experience.
Here comes the 2-0. And that's it for a strike. Good job by Barnhart presenting that one.
You know, a lot of times you won't get that pitch when it's on the opposite side of where you're sitting. But Barnhart did a good job. Really not moving his body much, just catching it with his eyes and the ball.
Swing and a miss.
And that's the pitch that's really effective on Duvall. And even the bigger slider sometimes has a hard time laying off. It's somewhat of a tough matchup for Kyle because he doesn't have that pitch.
Mentioning the walks for Assad last year, the walk rate was actually even higher, but his ERA was lower, so we didn't pay for him. Pay for him a bit more this season. Outside corner, Duvall didn't like it.
And I think he thought it was low. I actually think it's a perfect pitch. We're going to find out if he hits this little square. And it's a little low. He's got a better eye than I got.
So one down, base is empty. Here's Casas. Single homer fly out. Tomorrow it'll be Marcus Stroman and James Paxton. Come at you in 20. Nico out of the outfield grass, and he steals a hit from Casas. What a play.
Well, it stinks to be slow as a base runner, but Nico does an amazing job of getting a great jump on this ball. His reaction, you see him come down on his feet, and he gets it up the middle. He gets far on the second base side. He gets up really quickly. Second base umpire Ben May has to duck. Get out of the way, Ben. Comes up, makes a strong throw. Nice stretch by Young. Casas is out by a lot.
That coverage being brought to you by T-Mobile. They try Nico again. Wong is out, and 1-2-3 go the Red Sox. Good work by Assad, and gets some help from the defense. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Red Sox have a 7-3 lead. By your local Hyundai dealer. Find a dealer nearest you at buyhyundai.com. By Advocate Healthcare. Let's live well and make the most of every moment, game day, and every day. And by Wintrust, proud legacy partner of the Chicago Cubs and exclusive home of Cubs checking. Welcome back, Cubs Cornerstones, brought to you by Advocate Healthcare. And here's the Cub we're getting to know today. Yeah, you know that guy, John Lester. Second-round pick by the Red Sox in 2002. The Cubs signed him as a free agent in 2014. 6 seasons with the Cubs, a 3.64 ERA, a world champ in 2016. He was the NLCS MVP that season, and then led the National League wins in 2018. Started the opening game of a playoff series 12 times, tied for most in history.
What I remember most about John Lester, never had a chance to play against him, coached against him. Maybe one of the best competitors I ever saw from the other side. Like, I'm not in the clubhouse with him, and I truly don't know. Man, you knew you were in for a fight every time you faced him. Well, here's your shorter left-hander, Boo. Now, I wouldn't call him what you did, but he slings it, right? This is different. This is different than a high sinker guy.
In the air out towards right center. And the catch made by Duvall, and Nico Horner retires. Christian Arroyo taking over at second. Justin Turner tonight making his first start at second base since September of 2015. Ian Happ will turn around to hit right-handed. Armandino delivers the strike.
Boo, you're a left-handed hitter, right?
It was
How would you like facing this, Boo?
not at all. And flinching up here.
And
That little sort of dip down kind of herky-jerky.
And what he'll do is to the left is he'll run his sinker really hard in on him and then throw this sweeping breaking ball.
And Hack on strikes in with a couple of words from Chris Siegel, 2 away.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe he was arguing whether it was a strike. Maybe he thought it was high. I don't know if he tried to call timeout.
Suzuki takes down an in, say 0 for 3. Tonight, Cody Bellinger with a pair of homers, but it hasn't been enough. As the Cubs trail at 7-3. Cody now with 11 home runs. Got to look at Bellinger swinging in the on-deck circle. Just a touch, that's in for a strike.
This thing about Bellinger is when you look at this year, up until today, he had more home runs against lefties. He had 5, but only 4 against righties, and now he's got 6 against righties. But it's a good sign.
Suzuki down on strikes. We're headed to the 9th. Cubs trailing 7-3. On breakdown and take a look at rules changes and what's changed. Time of game, you're talking about 26 minutes, been shaved off the time of game from last year to this year. Runs per game, offense is up, hitting is up, on base is up. So is the stolen base rate, 79.4%. Would be the best stolen base success rate ever.
A couple other numbers to throw at you. The average attendance is up over 2,200 people from last year. I think these new rules are working.
Chang unloads and crushes one deep into the bleachers and left. Another homer for the Red Sox. That's their 6th of the night. I swear when we said that they don't hit homers, we weren't lying to you.
No, I mean, they were 22nd in baseball, and this is just another ball that's up in the zone. And Chang does have a lot of power. He doesn't hit for much for average in his time up here, but he's always had a lot of power. You see what he puts into that swing. And they're hitting to the right ball, part of the ballpark, left center. That's a long home run. The other things that have been enjoyed, left-handed hitters have enjoyed the shift rule, the new shift rules where you can't shift. Their batting averages went from 236 to 248. For righties, it's only 247 to 249.
The other way, and that one laced past Mastroboni to base hit for Duran. Yeah, pulled ground balls by lefties. I want to say the average has gone up by close to 40 points. Here is Masataka Yoshida. Yoshida, a single his last time up. Joe, this is the type of guy I think, I mean, again, small sample size. You're talking about 305 at bats. But there are two numbers that I look at. And obviously, you like he's hitting 315, the on base at 381. In today's game, to slug 489 with a strikeout rate of 10.7%, I think that is what most teams would love to have their offense loaded with.
Their offense is loaded with a bunch of good hitters. You look at the first 5 or 6 hitters, they're really good hitters that don't strike out a lot. And he is probably the poster boy for this. You're talking about only striking 0.7% of the time. That's 4th in all of baseball. And he only swings and misses at 4 seamers 5% of the time. He doesn't miss heaters.
He's got the best batting average against them. And the next, so he's first against 4-seam fastballs, followed by Luis Ariz, Fred Freeman, and Ronald Acuna.
Pretty good hitters. You got to hit the fastball in this league.
Red Sox tonight with 6 homers, about a half a mile of home runs.
Let's see, 400 feet, 2,400 feet. Yeah, pretty close. Need another 200 feet.
Well, sure. Rain falling here at Wrigley. Nobody outman at first.
It's one of those games that I think is tricky for a manager. You got a 5-run lead. You got a base stealer on first base. The wind's blowing out. There's been plenty of home runs here. In your mind, are you saying, is it enough? No. I don't really want to use Jansen. He got a chance to pitch in the All-Star game.
The other way to base hit. 3 straight hits.
You had those unwritten rules. If it was 4 or more, you didn't, necessarily run. I just wish baseball would just play. If you think about, could they be in a dogfight when it comes to trying to secure the last wild card spot? Could be. And it could be the game that you didn't keep your foot on the pedal that cost you. So, all minus for Siegel. I mean, he's looked back all. We kept looking at each other like, are they doing something illegal here?
Yeah. Just see the catcher. In there for a strike, and now it's 3-2.
But that sinker had some late break. And it just darted right at the end. Looked like it was going to be low. This is a pitch that you have to bottle. This starts off side and almost ends up on the inside corner. Something on the field.
That is bad for him out there.
Okay, but this makes it difficult on Assad for me. Having to wait. Just made a really good pitch. Now he's got to wait a little longer. He did a quick job of picking it up. Good job by the grounds crew. These raindrops look like they're getting a little bigger.
Yes. 3-2 with runners at first and second and nobody out.
Tell you what, he's always got a ton of pine tar on his back. And where he hits himself in the back, it's on the jersey.
Yeah.
I would not want to be the club he having to get that out every day.
It gets it. There's a little marker across the, you can see where the R is.
Yeah.
He does that on purpose, like where he lays the bat across. All right, now you probably know this, but you know there's such a thing, right? There's a product called pine tar remover. I'm serious.
I know.
Like, go on Amazon. You can get yourself pine tar remover. You get it on your clothes, you get it out. It's like shower for pine tar. Center field, Bellinger makes the catch. Duran will tag as the throw comes into second.
So I get some high fives from Alex Ford. You know, it's a really good swing, and I'm sure he would have loved to have a hit, but you move the runner to third, makes it easier for Devers to drive him in. And this is the big thing, when you don't strike out with runners in scoring position, you have a much better chance to have productive outs. You know what I find interesting about Devers is you would think that a guy that was top 3 in the league in RBIs, the OPS would be higher. So obviously he's done a fantastic job when he's got runners on base. Hitting well over 300 with runners in scoring position. Really finds a way to get hits when there's runners out. Looks like he needs a little more high tar. And came off the bat. You'll see the extra base hits since 2019. Those are superstars. All of them. All stars. Sometimes I wonder if he feels pressure of being the guy that Boston kept.
Right.
You think about Mookie Betts, you think about Bogarts. He was the one they kept.
The trade deadline, I mean, you can trade J.D. Martinez at the deadline last year. Come on. Balls, 2 strikes to count. In there, Devers, no argument, strike 3.
Well, after starting off 3 for 3 with 2 homers and a single, he struck out his last 2 at bats, and this one freezes him in and starts in at him a little bit, comes back. It's like he's guessing and he guessed wrong.
2 down now. And Alex Verdugo will hit. Cubs trail at 8-3. Red Sox have hit 6 homers here tonight. 2 from Devers, 1 from Duvall, 1 from Casas. Turner's got 1 and Yu Chang is hit 1. Originally drafted by the Dodgers, 2nd round pick, 2014. Mookie Betts trade.
The thing about having to come over for Mookie Betts, the pressure that he felt to perform at such a high level. I think he's had a really good year this year. Probably the best year that he's had since the trade.
Hey, he's a good, solid player. They're at the corners, 2 down. Assad. And we're going to go with Chase.
He's another guy that when ball's in the strike zone, he makes contact. 3rd highest in all of baseball of contact rate in the zone. When you can lay off pitches like that, you become a really, really tough out.
2-2, Verdugo waits. And Horner handles the chance. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Cubs. They trail at 8-3. Marquee Sports Network is brought to you by Toyota, official vehicle of the Chicago Cubs, by UI Health, changing medicine for good, and by Michelob. here. And Wrigley is Cody Bellinger gets set to hit. And right now we bring you How Far Did It Fly by the Pablo Curcio Auto Group. And you're going to like buying your car this way. Cody Bellinger not one but two homers. And how far did it go? 371 feet. Kelly's second home run. Taylor Scott for the ninth time.
Strikeout rate's okay, walk rate's a little high, ground ball rate, fly ball pitch.
In the air, left field, and Durant makes the catch. It'll be interesting to see when Dansby Swanson comes back. They try to fit Morel into the line.
I think they'll play him at third until Madrigal possibly gets back. Then he might see some DH days. They try to rotate him around a little bit to keep everyone fresh. Taylor Scott here, originally drafted by the Chicago Cubs. I like this little arm angle too. Now, that lefty you didn't like, Bernardino. I don't like this guy moving right-handed.
A little bit, I mean, it goes like a catcher a little bit. It kind of goes right up to behind his ear.
You need to get one in the air now. The flags are blown out hard.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to really storm here.
I mean, stuff is just flying all over the place, the bleachers.
Yeah, they're not going to have to blow the bleachers tonight.
No. On the ground, the Morel with a base hit. And Morel with a 3-hit game. Scott missing outside. Jared Young 0 for 3. Morel goes, and that throw skips into center, so a stolen base.
Yeah, questionable throw by Connor Wong here. They're not even holding him on, and he gets a huge jump. This is, as a catcher, you have to just beat him, let him go. And you end up getting your seventh error. It's just trying to do too much. And we talked about what a great thrower he is, but when they're not holding you on, you have to just beat him.
Yeah, just let it be. It's raining sideways, kind of. Certainly the wind is blowing that way, left to right on your TV.
That's
Lightning.
There sure has been a lot of rain in the Chicagoland area the last couple of years.
And Young will take his base down to a board. And the batter will be Miles Mastrobuoni.
Wow.
He just found $1. Well, why are you keeping that?
He tipped the bad boy.
I guess he did.
He was to tip the bad boys and the clubbies when it's over. He was going to put it in his pocket. Yeah. So what do you think's more rare, JD's baseball card or the dollar? Find the field.
JD's baseball card. I did a game one time at Dusty Baker. I wonder if you've ever heard this, but that he said it was bad luck putting
in your pocket.
Yeah, he said that putting like garbage on the field in your pocket was bad luck.
Yeah, I hear players, don't do it, don't do it.
And that's what he was while we were doing the game. He was saying, "No, don't put it in your pocket." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, you'll see players crumple it up and give it to somebody else. Is what they'll do. I learned that from Wade Boggs.
Is that right?
Yeah, he wasn't superstitious.
No.
So, Boog, if that dollar bill's a 50, are you putting that one in your pocket?
Absolutely. Yeah. Only hitless in 3 trips. 2-2. He's getting to start at third. He starts second, third, and at right. And he's DH once. Trailing 8-3, lightning off in the background. Scott able to get him swinging 2 down. Time now for our toast of the game, and it's brought to you by Vinny's Beverage Depot. We can't find it at Vinny's. It's probably not worth drinking. And Cody Bellinger with a pair of home runs. He has 11 on the season. We toast you, Belly. These 2 bombs not enough, and you can't find it at Vinny's. It's probably not worth drinking. At least not as of now. First offering. Missing outside to Tucker Barnhart. He's got a couple of hits. He's 2 for 3.
5 for his last 13. Nice to see him start swinging the bat better. When I look at this Taylor Scott, like some of his sliders, they look like they break sideways fast. Yeah, give it to the umpire. You don't worry. The umpire doesn't even want to hold. I mean, that was a big piece of garbage.
Yeah. Taking a miss from Tucker, 2-1.
You know, the garbage on the field really gives you an idea how the wind swirls in the ballpark. When you look at the flags, certain spots in the ballpark, that's not the way the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
It's so windy, my pen is moving. It just moved, yeah.
Actually taking the flags down at center. 3-1. Foul back, and now it's 3-2 on Tucker Barnhart. Burrell at third, Young the runner at first. Outside ball 4, and they're loaded. And Alex Cora out of the dugout. Kenley Jansen coming in. Pitching change brought to you by Lakeside Bank. It's about time. By the Pablo Curcio Auto Group. You're going to like buying a car this way. By Prevagen. Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist recommended memory support brand. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Another dance. And continues to fall. The bases are loaded. Chance the all-star closer is on here with 2 outs in an 8-3 game for Lightning. Jansen against Tachman, all loaded up, 2 outs. Clips the inside corner, cutting across the inside edge. Kenley Jansen at 35 years old. Started this year for the 4th time in his career.
Well, that's the one pitch that I think that Fillmore moved lately is his sinker. And he's got a little bit more velocity. His velocity had been down for a couple of years. He's still not the 97, 98 he was.
But back up by a good chunk compared to a couple years ago.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. Jansen comes in and finishes it off. The Red Sox take the opener 8-3, your final. For Joe Girardi, Lisa Nicker, and our entire crew, I'm John Chambi. Thanks so much for watching Chicago Cubs baseball here on Marquee Sports Network. Again, your final, the Red Sox take the opener. It's 3-game set, 8-3. Join us again tomorrow starting at 1. It's game 2 of the series against the Red Sox. Up next, Blue Cross Blue Shield comes post-game live. Cole Wright, Sean Marshall. Cole. Just place some of the pressure. Bounce the first. Young backs up. Leiter. In the air out towards left center, charging his half, and Bellinger, and it'll fall for a hit. And I almost think they were a little tentative. I think they each wanted a lot. Jet stream in the part of the park where the ball really carries, or at least normally does.
He is with RBIs at the top.
Bounce to the right.
Bunch of different looks.
In the air. Here comes the 2-0. And that's it for a strike. Up the middle. Oh, that coverage brought you by T-Mobile. They try Pico again.
Lester never had a chance. The high sinker guy. This sweep and breaking ball.
With a pair of homers, but it hasn't been enough. As the Cubs just
Skittles are working.
Chang unloads and crushes one deep into the bleachers and left. Another homer for the Red Sox. It's their 6th of the night. I swear when we said that they don't hit homers, we weren't lying to you.
No, I mean they were.
The other way, and that one late. In today's. The other way, and a base hit. 3 strikeouts. Shout. Center field, Bellinger makes the catch. The Rand will
Constantly down around the knees and are able to command their off-speed stuff to have some pretty good success with him back there behind the plate.
foul ball, still 0-2.